Our first successful capture of a thermophilic icefish created a crisis that nearly ended our expedition when we realized these creatures required impossible conditions to survive in captivity. The fish needed to maintain internal temperatures exceeding 200 degrees Fahrenheit while swimming in water that measured exactly -2 degrees Celsius, a thermal differential that should be physically impossible without massive energy expenditure. We had to simultaneously freeze and superheat the same water to keep this impossible life form alive, using specially designed thermal-resistant aquariums that challenged every principle of physics we understood. The containment system required constant monitoring because any fluctuation in the precise temperature gradient would either freeze the fish's superheated organs or boil the sub-zero water it needed to survive. Every biological sample we collected defied explanation, with blood proteins that functioned perfectly at temperatures that should have destroyed their molecular structure instantly. Like and subscribe. Episode 5 reveals the shocking biochemical analysis that proved these fish operate using principles that don't exist in any biology textbook. Description: keeping impossible Arctic fish alive in captivity required technology that defied physics itself. These creatures need simultaneous freezing and superheating to survive. Dr. Vasquez's team built containment systems that violated thermodynamics. The engineering challenge revealed how these fish transcend known biological limits. Discover the full story of organisms that could revolutionize our understanding of life. Tags: Arctic mystery, impossible physics, science. Shorts: Episode 4, thermal regulation, scientific discovery, viral, educational, discovery. Episode 5, the deeper mystery title. These fish have proteins that shouldn't exist in nature, discovery number 5. Script: teleprompter ready. Blood samples from our thermophilic icefish revealed biochemistry that made Dr. Chen question everything he knew about protein science and cellular function. Proteins typically denature and become non-functional at temperatures above 140 degrees Fahrenheit, yet this fish's blood contained fully functional enzymes operating efficiently at over 200 degrees. The molecular analysis showed protein structures unlike anything in biological literature, with chemical bonds that appeared to strengthen rather than weaken under extreme heat, violating fundamental principles of biochemistry. Cellular examination revealed mitochondria operating at peak efficiency while experiencing thermal conditions that should have destroyed their membranes instantly, and cell walls showed no signs of heat damage despite temperatures hot enough to brew coffee. The fish's hemoglobin transported oxygen normally, while enduring conditions that should have broken down its structure completely, suggesting these organisms had evolved biological processes that transcended known physical laws. Like and subscribe. Episode 6 shows how we discovered these fish can consciously control their impossible heat generation, manipulating thermal output like a biological thermostat. Description: biochemical analysis of Arctic fish revealed impossible protein structures that function at 200 degrees plus temperatures. These molecular formations violate known science about how proteins work under extreme heat. Dr. Vasquez's team found cellular components that shouldn't exist in nature. The discovery suggests life can transcend fundamental biological limits. See the complete research expedition that challenges molecular biology itself. Tags: Arctic mystery, impossible proteins, science. Shorts: Episode 5, biochemistry, scientific discovery, viral, educational, discovery. Episode 6, the turning point title: Arctic fish control their heat like a living thermostat, discovery 6. Script: teleprompter ready. The breakthrough discovery came when Dr. Tanaka mapped the temperature distribution throughout our captured fish and found they maintained multiple thermal zones within a single organism, with precise temperature gradients that shifted and flowed like a living thermal map. These fish weren't simply generating heat uniformly, but were controlling different organs at temperatures ranging from the surrounding water temperature in their extremities to over 200 degrees in their core, demonstrating conscious thermal manipulation we'd never seen in nature. When we introduced mild stressors like bright lights or sounds, the fish would increase their thermal output to over 220 degrees while keeping their skin temperature exactly matched to the surrounding water, proving they could consciously control their heat generation. During relaxed states, they could lower their thermal signature to nearly undetectable levels while maintaining all basic biological functions, operating like a biological thermostat with precision that exceeded our most sophisticated thermal control technology. This level of thermal control suggested not just biological adaptation, but conscious manipulation of physical processes that challenged our understanding of what living organisms could achieve. Like and subscribe. Episode 7 reveals how these individual fish coordinate their thermal output as a collective intelligence that defies explanation. Description: Arctic fish demonstrate conscious control over 200 degree F plus internal heat generation while maintaining frozen skin temperatures. These creatures operate like biological thermostats with impossible precision. Dr. Vasquez discovered thermal mapping that suggests conscious manipulation of physics. The thermal control capabilities exceed human technology. Watch the full expedition, revealing organisms that challenge biological limits. Tags: Arctic mystery, thermal control, science, shorts. Episode 6, biological thermostat, scientific discovery, viral, educational, discovery. Episode 7, the stakes rise. Title: Schools of Heatfish work together like thermal computers. Discovery number 7. Script: teleprompter ready. Our research revealed that thermophilic icefish exist in small schools that coordinate their thermal output collectively, functioning as a distributed thermal regulation system that challenged our understanding of animal intelligence. When one fish increased its temperature, others in the school would automatically adjust their heat generation to maintain optimal thermal distribution throughout the group, creating coordinated thermal management across multiple organisms. These schools were operating as collective thermal intelligence networks, sharing heat load and creating microenvironments that defied the freezing Arctic waters around them, suggesting a level of inter-organism communication and coordination we'd never documented in marine life. The thermal coordination happened too quickly and precisely to be explained by simple behavioral responses, indicating these fish possessed some form of thermal sensing and communication system that allowed real-time heat distribution across the entire school. We realized we weren't just studying individual organisms with impossible thermal abilities, but collective intelligent systems that manipulated environmental physics as a coordinated group. Like and subscribe. Episode 8 shows the genetic analysis that proved these fish evolved separately from all known life on Earth. Description: Arctic fish schools coordinate 200 degree F plus heat generation as collective intelligence systems. These thermal networks distribute heat load across multiple organisms with impossible precision. Dr. Vasquez documented interorganism thermal communication that defies marine biology. The collective behavior suggests advanced coordination abilities. Discover the full story of organisms that challenge individual and group intelligence concepts. Tags: Arctic mystery, collective intelligence, science. Shorts. Episode 7, thermal networks, scientific discovery, viral, educational, discovery. Episode 8, the breakthrough title, DNA tests proved. These fish aren't from Earth's evolution. Discovery, Jur 8. Script, teleprompter ready. Dr. Chen's genetic analysis of our thermophilic icefish revealed the most shocking discovery of our entire expedition when DNA sequencing showed gene sequences that had no matches in any biological database on Earth. These fish possessed genetic material that appeared to code for proteins and cellular structures that didn't exist in any known life form, suggesting an evolutionary pathway completely separate from terrestrial biology. The genetic markers indicated an evolutionary timeline that didn't match any known Arctic species, as if these organisms had evolved under different physical laws, or represented a form of life that operated using principles we hadn't discovered yet. Molecular analysis showed genetic coding for the impossible thermal regulation systems we'd observed, with DNA sequences that shouldn't be able to produce functional proteins at the extreme temperatures these fish maintained internally. The genomic data suggested these fish had evolved mechanisms for manipulating quantum thermal properties at the cellular level, representing the first documented case of biological quantum mechanics in action. Like and subscribe. Episode 9 reveals how these impossible fish are actively modifying Arctic ecosystems in ways that could change our planet's future. Description: genetic analysis revealed Arctic fish DNA that doesn't match Earth's evolutionary tree. These organisms possess genetic material coding for impossible thermal abilities. Dr. Vasquez's team found genomic sequences suggesting quantum biological mechanisms. The DNA evidence indicates separate evolutionary pathways from known life. See the complete research showing organisms that challenge evolution itself. Tags: Arctic mystery, alien DNA, science. Shorts: Episode Art 8, genetic analysis, scientific discovery, viral, educational, discovery. Episode 9, the climactic discovery title. These heatfish are melting Arctic ice and changing ecosystems. Discovery 9. Script: teleprompter ready. Analysis of our underwater footage revealed the most profound implication of our discovery when we realized thermophilic ice fish were actively modifying Arctic environments by creating thermal pockets that prevented ice formation across areas extending 50 feet from their location. These fish weren't just surviving in Arctic waters, but were functioning as biological heating systems that allowed other cold-sensitive organisms to thrive in regions that should be completely frozen, effectively terraforming underwater ecosystems. The thermal modification was so significant that these fish were creating entirely new habitats in previously uninhabitable Arctic zones, suggesting they could play a crucial role in ecosystem adaptation as climate change continues. We documented instances where schools of thermophilic ice fish had created warm water refuges that supported biodiversity levels impossible under normal Arctic conditions, demonstrating that these organisms weren't just biological anomalies, but ecosystem engineers. The implications were staggering. These fish represented life forms that could actively reshape planetary environments through conscious manipulation of thermal dynamics, potentially changing the future of Arctic ecosystems. Like and subscribe. Episode 10 reveals what this discovery means for the future of life on Earth, and why scientists are both excited and terrified by these findings. Description: Arctic fish, generating 200-degree F plus heat, are melting ice and creating new ecosystems in impossible conditions. These organisms function as biological terraforming systems. Dr. Vasquez documented thermal modification affecting 50-plus foot areas around fish schools. The ecosystem engineering capabilities could reshape Arctic environments. Watch the complete expedition revealing organisms with planetary impact potential. Tags: Arctic mystery, ecosystem engineering, science. Shorts: Episode 9, terraforming, scientific discovery, viral, educational, discovery. Episode 10, the resolution title: Why Scientists Are Terrified of Fish That Break Physics Laws. Discovery, Jur 10. Script, teleprompter ready. Our discovery of thermophilic ice fish that generate impossible heat while living in freezing Arctic waters has implications that extend far beyond marine biology into realms that could revolutionize medicine, engineering, and space exploration. If life can evolve to transcend basic thermodynamic principles, it suggests biological thermal regulation possibilities that could transform everything from treating thermal injuries to developing technologies for surviving extreme temperature environments in space. Retry. This response paused because Claude reached its max length for a message. Hit continue to nudge Claude along. Continue Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.